What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T-Claus. My name is Tevi, and this is a channel dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on Tesla, Nio, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information, stay for the fun clips. So it occurred to me as I was watching my last video that I may have had a tiny bit too much kickstart in my system, judging by the speed of my speech in the first third of the video. And really the only thing that comes to mind when I watch myself was this guy.
Easy peasy, boss. Leave it to me.
Is that coffee? Drink up.
As funny as it is to watch him and myself bouncing off the walls, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that one, I was going maybe a bit too fast, and two, it probably made it a bit difficult for some of the viewers to keep up with what I was saying. So, channel is a work in progress. I'm still fairly new at this, and again, I appreciate everybody watching, and I will keep adjusting as we go along. With the flurry of news around Tesla in the last few weeks, we really haven't touched on the other cornerstone stocks in my portfolio. So the focus of today's video will be on Virgin Galactic and Nio, and the video will be organized into three sections. Part number one will be on Virgin Galactic, what's been going on with the stock and what's coming next. Part number two will be on Nio, same thing, what's going on and where we're going next. And part number three will be the weekly performance review by gain or loss, expressed in percentages. So with that said, let's get into the video. The last time we spoke about Virgin Galactic, this was about 3 weeks ago, the stock price was right around $34. And at the time, I gave you a price target of $50 that I expected the stock to reach by summertime. Well, apparently summer came early because as of the closing bell on Friday, the stock price now sits at $54.53. Now, again, I did not expect the stock price, and I'll be the first one to admit that I did not expect the stock price to reach that level that quickly, but hey, I'll take it. And if you're asking yourself, why did the stock price go on such a parabolic rise? Well, there's two reasons really. The first one is that literally the day after I posted, Virgin Galactic came out and announced that they expected to have test flight number 28 on February 13th, with the window staying open for the rest of the month for multiple additional flights. So we could potentially see test flight number 28 as well as the test flight number 29 be completed this month. The second reason is SpaceX announcing that they would conduct their first civilian flight ever, taking 4 lucky customers on a trip to outer space and around the planet before returning to Earth. Those two announcements together further reinforced in the mind of potential investors that space tourism was indeed an opportunity worth investing in. And when you consider that at the moment, Virgin Galactic is the only publicly traded company that people can invest in if they want some exposure to space tourism, it's no wonder that Virgin Galactic stock exploded the way it did. With all the enthusiasm around the company, what it's doing and where it's going, the stock price actually got as high as $62.90 before the inevitable pullback that occurred. And again, it's not uncommon for a stock to pull back after such a parabolic rise. And what drove the pullback was the two announcements. The first one being that one, they actually were not going to make their February 13th flight date. There was a slight delay there, so that pulled back some of the enthusiasm around what was going on. So a little bit of disappointment there. The second one is that one of the analysts covering the stock, Miles Walton from UBS, downgraded the stock. And really all that means is that instead of assigning a buy rating, which he had earlier, he pulled it to a neutral rating, meaning that people should hold and kind of curb their enthusiasm a little bit. And the price target that he has now on the stock is $52. And at this point, the rationale for the downgrade is that all the good news that would come with a successful test flight has been priced into the stock. So it makes sense that you want to kind of cool your jets and step back and just kind of watch it play out. So what do I make of this as an investor in Virgin Galactic? Well, it's pretty simple actually. The stock price has been trading sideways for a couple of weeks now, and we now know that it found a pretty strong base in that $48 to $52 range, meaning that every time the stock price goes up and then drops back down to that range, so 48 to 52, it's finding a lot of buying pressure that's maintaining the stock price in that range or slightly above. And so what this means for me is that now is a great time to continue to add to my position or simply hold if I don't have any money. But if you're a new investor and you're looking to buy in, now again would be a good time to buy into the stock. And if it drops from the $54 range, buy more so you can average your cost down. And if it goes up, then again, you've already bought in and you're in a good position here. So my plan is to take advantage of this consolidation period while it lasts and advance my position as much as I can before the breakout. And we have two catalysts that are coming our way that should again help with the next move up. The first one being test flight number 28. That should happen at some point before the month is over. and potentially test flight 29. The second one is the earning call that will take place on February 25th. One thing to be aware of is that post-earning call, there's a chance that the stock price might drop again. So be ready for that if you see the stock price rise, and then pull back post-earning call. Again, nothing uncommon there, depending on what they announce, whether the news is good or bad. That may impair investor sentiment around the stock. But again, nothing too unexpected. And if something changes that you need to be aware of, I'll bring it back and talk about it. Let's get into part number 2 of this video and cover Nio. It's been about a month since we last spoke about Nio, and at the time, the Nio Day event helped the stock price reach an all-time high of $66.99 before the inevitable pullback spurred on by people taking profit as well as just the overall market disturbance that we were experiencing at the time. Well, fast forward into February, the first week of February, Nio announced their delivery numbers for the month of January, and they were strong. At 7,225 cars, this represents a 352.1% improvement year over year. As a matter of fact, deliveries for most EV makers in the Chinese market were at or above expectations, supporting the narrative that China still is the #1 market in the world for EVs and that demand remains extremely strong. Despite the strong delivery numbers that Nio posted for the month of January, you can see that nothing much has happened with the stock price. It's kind of been trading in that same general range for the last few weeks. So what does this mean? It simply means that Nio has now found a strong new base in that $54 to $57 range. So every time the stock price tries to go up and drops back down, that's pretty much where it kind of lands. And the one thing to remember is that when a stock has good fundamentals behind it and consolidates for long periods of time with good news surrounding it, the more sudden the breakout will be. It's probably going to look something like this.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah!
Okay, when I think breakthrough, I think Kool-Aid guy. And when I think Kool-Aid guy, that's the clip that comes to mind. So here we are, people jumping through walls and breaking through. So anyways, let's get back to the video. When we do inevitably break through, and that will be spurred on by the next catalyst that I will mention here, the stock price will rally to a new all-time high before it hits an imaginary wall. And that will be in the form of either profit taking or maybe an analyst downgrade or just plain bad news on the stock. And that catalyst that I'm mentioning is the Q4 2020 earning call that has now been announced for the first day of March, so March 1st, 2021. At that point, we expect to hear, again, how did Nio do on their revenue and sales overall. And analyst consensus is that whatever EPS that they have set for Nio will likely beat those expectations. So what is my approach when it comes to the Nio stock? Again, this is not financial advice, as I'm not a financial advisor, just telling you what I plan to do and the why behind it. Well, while we're in this consolidation period, I will continue to accumulate more shares so that when we finally break through and we drive to a new all-time high, my profit or return on investment will be much higher than previously. And it turns out that I'm not the only one thinking in this way, as we have mutual funds and other institutional investors buying more shares while we're at this level here before the next breakout. All right, let's get into part 3 of the video, which is the weekly performance review by percentage gain or loss for the portfolio. And I'll turn on the screen recording here. So you can see getting into Monday that we started the week actually in a pretty good note. We were at 8.73% at market open. And then, rose throughout the day. Tuesday was a much better day, getting to an all-time high for the portfolio. And at the time, 14.46% was where we were on a positive note. And then from there, we took a little drop, taking us down to 6.69% before going back up, and saw a nice little spike with Thursday at 11.81%, and finally closing out the week on Friday at 11.18%, and it's been steadily dropping throughout the weekend to where we are right now at 9.74%. The one thing to remember is that, again, cryptocurrency never stops, which is why on the weekend you're still seeing movement in the portfolio. So definitely trending in the right direction here, and couldn't be any happier with the performance so far this year. All right, people, this will do it for today's video, and I hope that each and every one of you is having a great Valentine's Day celebration. And if you're here watching me while you're celebrating, then you might as well drop me a like. Share with your friends if you found the content insightful. And for my newcomers, remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any future content. As always, thank you for watching. Stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.